The postmodernists and the leftists have effectively stripped the word justice of its actual meaning and replaced it with something that is virtually the opposite to the actual meaning of the word. They are doing this to justify and promote their grievance politics. Today, the word justice has become a weapon. When people, especially on the left and some in the media, call for justice, what they're actually saying is that people ought to be categorized into their predetermined categories, and that people in the category that they don't belong to, or which they simply don't like, ought to be punished for the mere fact that they are members of that category. Usually the argument is that people ought to be punished for something their ancestors did, or other members of their group did. It's a guilty by association type of thing, all allegedly in the name of justice. But this is exactly the opposite of what the word justice actually means. Justice is something that we all should strive for. It is not a concept that we can afford to abandon, which is why we ought to rehabilitate the word justice. The concept of justice has been with us for as long as human history can remember. Hundreds of years BC, philosophers like Plato and Aristotle wrote at length about what it means to achieve justice and how this can be achieved. Plato's Republic is a thought experiment aimed at developing a republic in which justice is most sustainably maintained. Just as there should be justice for the individual, there should also be justice for the community, Plato argued. One of the ways to achieve justice, he argued, is to ensure that those who govern are in fact the most capable people to govern, and that this government must also be wise and exercise self-restraint. Plato's message was that the only way to achieve justice is for each individual to understand the world we live in and their part in this world, and then to fulfill their duties towards the community and towards the common good as best they can. Aristotle said that justice consists of what is both lawful and fair. For the ancient Greeks, justice was not something that you can achieve by demanding it from others. It was something that a society achieves when each member of that society fulfills their duties and responsibilities. The same message is amplified in the Judeo-Christian tradition. The biblical message on justice is that it is something that is achieved by doing good. Justice is something that we should achieve through our fulfilling of our responsibilities, and even through self-sacrifice. It is not something that we demand of others. The same message also resonated in ancient Rome. The famous Roman orator, jurist and consul Marcus Tullius Cicero defined justice, or equitas as they used to call it, as a tripartite concept. Justice can only be achieved if we fulfill our responsibilities, first and foremost towards God, secondly by honoring our ancestors, in other words those who came before us, by respecting their suffering, their sacrifices, and the traditions they left behind, and thirdly by fulfilling our responsibilities towards our neighbors, our communities, and our fellow human beings. This message of justice was carried throughout the ages. It is only in the last few decades when the word was hijacked by postmodernists and leftists to be used as a weapon against others, in which it is demanded of others to treat you in a particular way. This is not justice. It is the opposite of justice. Justice is not achieved through demanding your rights. It is achieved through accepting responsibility for yourself, your family, and your community, and fulfilling your duties towards them. Which is why we need to reclaim the word justice. My name is Ernst Roots, and this is your fact sheet.